All right, welcome everybody to another edition of the Exes Podcast. I'm Scott,
I'm Therese.
and we both got our coffee. We
Yeah,
got our coffee.
I
Okay,
got coffee. Coffee,
and
big
we
cup.
are ready to rock and roll. Did you just send me that thing?
Yes.
Okay, I want to see if I can figure out how to do this. Um,
Or you could just describe it, or hold it up to. I wonder if you can hold it up to the screen when we talk about it.
I can hold it up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, all right, we'll figure that out. But anyway, yeah, welcome to the show, everybody. I'm sorry, we're doing other things. We had a little bit of almost didn't go on the air today because Therese, you had some storms up there in New York.
Yes, we had a little bit of a thunderstorm, knocked out the internet, I guess. So I had to reboot it.
Yeah. I was thinking the other day that before all of that, before internets and all of this and all this stuff, we found ways to entertain ourselves, and there was almost nothing that could stop us from just having fun.
Right.
Of course, well, maybe you if the phone went out at the house or something. Kill you because I know you spent most of your time on the phone, but
I didn't spend it that much time on the phone. I would prefer to see my people, my friends.
yes. And that's what we did. We saw our peoples. We saw them out in the street. We'd walk. We would have nothing to do. Sometimes we'd just meet and just walk around.
Go to the park.
Go to the park, sit in the park, smoke cigarettes when we weren't supposed to and stuff like that. But, not bad stuff.
No.
But stuff that you don't see anymore.
Right.
I barely, every once in a while I hear kids outside playing and I jump up and run to the window to see, oh my God, what's going on outside?
Right.
You got a lot of kids in your development there?
We don't have a lot of little kids. We have high school.
Right.
We have a few. Well, kind of middle school to high school.
Right. They'll never know. They'll never know everybody gathering on a Saturday to hang out at the mall.
I know, right?
And nobody there had a dime in their pocket. It's not like we went to the mall to buy shit. We went to the mall to sit around the fountain and smoke cigarettes and really be a nuisance for regular people,
Probably.
Yeah. They don't know what it's like to get together and go to an arcade.
Right. Roller skating.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, roller skating, there still is roller skating, but it's not like it used to be.
No. There used to be, every town had 3 or 4 good skating rinks, or 2 or 3. But now it's like, maybe there's 2 or 3 in this whole state that are still operating now.
Yeah.
It's not the same. I mean, we had rock and roll night, we had all night skates, we had all sorts of stuff. That was back in the day when parents would, kick you outside in the morning and not expect you home till the sun comes down.
That's right.
And if you did come home, they'd say, go outside. It's a beautiful day. And they'd kick you out.
Yeah.
It's just a different world now. Anyway, I don't know why I was thinking about that. It was, I was talking about it on another show I was doing. We were talking about our music back then. People, remember hanging out or standing in line to get tickets to a concert?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, I never slept overnight, but I know a lot of people did.
Yeah, I did. It was in Shoppingtown Mall, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Sam Goody or one of those. I forgot what it was. The store. It was a record store that.
The record store.
Yeah, they were selling the tickets, and we stayed overnight. And I think that was to see Styx. I think I did it to see Styx, and a few other bands that we saw back in the day. But yeah, all different now. But yeah, we were talking about that, and music isn't the same. Nobody buys albums, and they download one song. I mean, how are you going to have greatness unless you exposed to all their music?
Right.
Like when we bought an album, we couldn't buy one song unless we bought a 45, which I know a lot of people are saying, what's a 45? It's not a gun. It's a record.
It's a record. It's a small record.
It's a small record. It's not a gun. We carried 45s back then too, but they were not guns. But yeah. And so we got to know when you bought an album, you learned all the songs.
Yeah.
And now it's like they just hear certain things. So we're never going to have the artists that we used to have like that either, right?
Right.
I mean, like Fleetwood Mac, you're never going to see another band that had that kind of success because people don't buy all of their music. They just buy one song at a time or something. Or I don't even know if people buy music anymore. I
Right.
have access to so much music and I don't pay a dime, and I'm not cheating. Well, it's part of my Amazon Prime membership. I got access to all the music,
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Do they get money for that or what?
They must, right? Or else they wouldn't do it.
You'd think so.
Yeah.
You think so, but I know they used to get money for album sales. I don't know what they're getting now, and I guess all the money's in the concerts, right?
I think, yeah. Considering the price of tickets these days.
Well, not all tickets are bad. You're going to see what you just tell me. You're going to see Dan and Shay, right?
Yes.
And they're still a pretty popular country group.
Yeah.
Which one's the girl, Dan or Shay?
No, there is no girl.
They're all two
They're
guys.
both guys, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they had a special, like 24-hour, and a certain amount of tickets that they were selling for a certain price.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, even the outdoor theaters are, I think, around 60 now for lawn seats.
Oh, I know. Well, to go to I think it was Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Mm.
They came around again. I'd seen them a couple years ago. I wanted to see them again.
Mm.
But the cheapest seats I can get were $150.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's Casey and the Sunshine Band. And that wasn't like front row kind of stuff either. That
Right.
was like middle of the auditorium, maybe up on the top second level or whatever they call that. The mezzanine or balcony or whatever it's called. But yeah, $150. I'm not paying $150. I just can't.
That's the thing, is they're out of reach for regular people.
Think about the bands that we saw.
I know.
We saw the greats.
I
The
know.
Rolling, I saw the Rolling Stones. I saw Grateful Dead. I saw Styx and Aerosmith and Pink Floyd. I never paid more than $40 for a ticket.
Yeah, right. I know. I saw, who did I see? Van Halen. I saw Genesis.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's a different world now. But we're different people now, too. We're all grown up, and instead of playing outside in the streets with friends, you and I like to get together and talk about killing people. No, not us killing. We're not killing people. Not today.
We're just reporting on the people that do.
That's right. We're talking about murder. And we've been covering very extensively. The first one we've been covering very extensively has been Lori Daybell and Chad Daybell.
Mm-hmm.
Lori Vallow Daybell, if you will. And the multiple murders that came out of that. She's already been convicted of 3 murders, essentially, and he's been convicted of 3 murders, essentially. She got multiple life sentences. He got death penalty. But she's still facing charges for the killing of her estranged husband,
Mm-hmm.
where her and her brother set it up to make it look like it was self-defense, and it turns out they don't believe it was. They believe they got a good case against her. She's in Arizona, and even though she's serving life sentences, we still want to know. We want some closure to these things.
Mm-hmm.
So she's being charged with the murder of her husband and the attempted murder of a nephew or something of that.
Yeah.
Step nephew or whatever it might is, or in-law or whatever. So she's going back to court right now. It's slated for February 2025. Have we heard anything different about that?
No, that's what I've heard so far.
Yeah. And then that would finally put to bed this whole thing, and the families can all rest. I don't know if it's rest easy, but maybe be a little more comfortable and just have some sort of resolution to this whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the one we've been following. We'll certainly keep you up to date on that. But right now, all the psychos are locked up in their pens,
Mm-hmm.
and the lawyers are out doing their due. And if anything changes, we'll let you know. But we can. That actually, the truth is, I was surprised how smooth her trial and Chad's trial was. I was waiting for some sort of craziness or something to happen. And the lawyers probably could have done it, but both Lori and Chad didn't want to do this whole insanity thing. They didn't want to go crazy with it. They just,
Right.
it's like they should have just confessed if they were going to let it go that easily, right?
I know. Why not?
There was almost no effort put into their defense on either side.
Well, he had a little bit more.
Yeah, but
At least they called some witnesses.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, they didn't call anybody for Lori. Nope, we got nobody.
No.
Thanks.
Now one of the other people that we've been following is the Karen Reed trial out of Boston there, Canton, just outside of Boston, and that's the one where Reed was supposedly, after a night of drinking with friends, they had a party at a house. Everybody went there. Her and her boyfriend got there a little bit later. She says she dropped him off outside during a snowstorm, and she saw him walk into the house, and she drove away. Went home and went to sleep. She comes back the next morning. He's dead on the front lawn. And now what they're saying is she never dropped him off to go in the house. She dropped him off and ran over him, backed over him, killed him, and then drove off and went home, went to bed, then decided to come back and find the body. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of problems with this case. There's a lot of mishandling of evidence. There's a lot of things that don't add up and don't make sense. And there is a ton of crossover relationships between the investigators and the people in the house.
Well, half of the people in the house were other police officers.
They were other police officers, yes.
How do you explain mishandling of evidence when you have got active police officers right there at the scene?
Right. The guy who owned the house has got fire trucks, police cars, and ambulances out in front of his house. And he's a police officer, and he never once went outside to talk to anybody.
No.
I'm sorry. I've gone out in my underwear just because I heard tires screech and I thought maybe I'll see an accident. I mean, come on, we've all done that, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, there's a really good case to say that it was covered up and it was a frame job. Apparently there's a good case to say she actually ran him over. Both sides don't make sense. It got a hung jury. The jury, I think, 3 full days of deliberation and said we're hung. Or 4 full days, because they did it on Saturday too. 4 full days of deliberation. They said we cannot come to a decision. They call a mistrial. There's no prejudice. It can be retried again, and that's exactly what they're doing. This is going back to court on January 27th, 2025. So next January, it'll be back in court. Now, I looked it up, and if it's hung again, the judge has the discretion to throw it out as saying this is not a triable case. Or it could actually go to a third trial.
I think the best they have is reasonable doubt, right? There's doubt on both sides.
Yeah.
But there's also a problem with the way the judge called it a mistrial or a hung jury, whatever she called it, because she didn't discuss it with anybody. She read what the jury, she didn't call a sidebar. She didn't discuss it with the lawyers. She just announced it. And I guess that's a big problem.
Well, yeah, because when they came to her, they came to her on a Friday and said, we can't do anything. And it was Friday morning. And she said, no, get back in the room. You have not spent enough time. And all the lawyers agreed and that it should continue, that she asked both sides, the prosecution and the defense, do you believe they need to spend more time? And they said, yes. Do you believe they need to spend? Yes. So they went back in and they were in there Friday, then part of the day Saturday, and then all day Monday. And by Monday afternoon, they were like, we cannot, we're deadlocked. It was almost a 50-50 split is what I'm hearing. And at that point, the judge did not refer to the defense or the prosecution. She just simply said, it's a mistrial.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. I mean, that probably should have been a discussion.
Yeah.
Because they discussed it previously, just 2 days before they had all come together,
Right.
So this is going to be a case. I've never seen a case with so much reasonable doubt in so many areas.
Yeah.
It's not like it's the pieces of the broken taillight. It doesn't make sense on either side. Both stories don't make sense.
Yeah.
The way he landed in the snow. He had scratch marks on his arm, which is under his coat, and he got backed into it by a car on a snowy road doing a 3-point turn. And the car couldn't have been doing more than 10 or 15 miles per hour when it hit him. The injuries did not make sense. So there's so many things that don't make sense. And then you got people at the party inside who this body's outside all night. Nobody saw it. And somebody in the party is typing into their phone, how long does it take somebody to die in the snow?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they remodeled and sold the house very shortly after. They rehomed their dog.
Because there were bite marks that they could have matched to the dog, but now the dog is gone.
The dog's gone. Yeah, there's a lot of reasonable doubt.
Yeah. And her behavior was very bizarre as well. I mean, Karen Reed, her behavior, she's walking around, and the day she goes back and discovers the body, but she picks up friends to go with her.
Yeah, that's weird.
Which was kind of weird. And then she's walking around kind of muttering to herself, I killed him. Did I do this? Did I do, it was just all sorts of stuff. And it's like this very manic kind of behavior. Of course, finding your boyfriend dead in the snow, I guess that could bring that on. So there's she
was hungover too. So let's give her the benefit of the doubt. I mean, the girl probably had a wicked headache.
Quite honestly, I truly believe she has no idea what actually happened that night.
I agree.
Yeah. She says, I remember kind of this, but she was never like, I 100% saw him do this, or I 100% this. And that was fine. But it makes her a terrible witness for herself, but it makes her a perfect patsy for somebody else too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is one of those trials that'll just really be interesting to watch. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're going to have to go through every bit of evidence just like they did. I mean, it's going to be like watching a rerun.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be like watching a rerun.
Now, at any point, I want to study more on this, and I'll do this for us and our listeners and stuff to say, at what point is there any kind of legal standard to, if you keep getting mistrials, does something happen eventually? Also, does the judge have? I know a judge can put aside the jury's verdict if they believe it's not appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's been done, and I know it can be done. So couldn't a judge also put aside their hung and then make a decision? I don't know where those lines are for that, when a judge can step in.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So that might be something to look for. So, all right, so we got her on January 27th of next year. Lori Daybell, February of next year, 2025. Now, we got to talk about Sarah Looney Boone there. This woman, just give us the synopsis of what she did.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So she zippered her boyfriend in a suitcase, went upstairs and went to bed, found him dead in the morning, took him out of the suitcase, called her ex-husband, who told her once he got to her place that she should call 911. Oh, she called 911, and this poor guy died in a suitcase. He suffocated to death.
Okay, but now there's more to it.
Oh, she videotaped herself pretty much like mocking him.
Taunting him.
Telling her, that he can't breathe and get him out. And but she didn't remember that video.
He's in the suitcase, zipped up on the living room floor there.
Yeah.
And she's sitting down, and I don't know if she was drinking at the moment or whatever she was doing.
She
admitted she was drunk. She was drunk.
No, she didn't admit she was drunk. She admitted they were drinking.
Okay, all right.
She didn't pass out. She just went to sleep.
It would have been a better defense if she passed out.
Well, you would think, yes.
but I mean, here now they got this videotape of her for I think it's like a 12-minute long recording
Mm-hmm.
of this guy in this suitcase, and he's like, "Let me out, I can't breathe," and she's saying, "Good, you suffer in there, and that'll teach you not to mess with me," all this kind of weird, just weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
And and then she went to bed
And
and
she went to bed.
left him all Samsonited on the floor there. And I mean, first of all, bravo for him for being able to curl up small enough to get into a suitcase. He must have been a very flexible and healthy guy. But
Well, I think he was. I think he was a very small guy, but they don't know how or why he agreed to get in the suitcase. And she didn't call 911 until almost 1:00 in the afternoon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess if she was drunk, plus she called other people first.
Yeah, she called her ex-husband, and he came to her house.
Oh my God.
And said, you need to call.
Now, the whole excuse for him being in a suitcase was that they were playing hide and seek.
Correct.
All right, you're playing hide and seek. There's two of you.
Two people in the house.
If you help the other person hide, it takes a lot of the fun out of the game. I'm just saying. That's not hide and seek.
One would think.
I mean, holy shit. Oh, anyway. So now, this woman now has gone through not one, not two, not three, but 8 freaking lawyers in a 2-year period.
Mm-hmm.
What is that all about? What is the deal?
Irreconcilable differences.
Okay, that was on my divorce papers from my first marriage.
Well,
but that was,
it's on everybody's divorce papers.
yeah. Yeah, just, I mean,
Well, there was.
are the lawyers asking to be out, or is she kicking them out?
No, the lawyers are asking to be out. But the first couple were just like a conflict of interest, right? One of them, I think, had represented the victim in a different kind of case. One of them knew a relative or something. So the first couple were just excused because they had a conflict.
One of them worked for American Tourister, the luggage company. And okay.
One of them had a conflict with their own schedule. But I think once it got up to around lawyer number 6, I think that lawyer requested to be off. That's the one that she called incompetent, stupid, bumble.
You just locked a guy in a suitcase and killed him. I mean, let's talk about incompetent and stupid, all right? Holy cow.
And so the last 3, I think, requested to be off the case. And a lot of them are saying, although they can't say a lot in front of the cameras and in court, they can't.
No, because it's privilege.
Right. But they're saying that due to ethical reasons. So she must be asking them for some kind of defense that they don't think is ethical for them to defend.
Okay. All right. And apparently, as a lawyer, you do have protections that if a client is asking you to do something that is not ethical, you can have yourself removed.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't do it because you think your client's guilty.
Right.
They can't. It's not like that. It's not like they're saying, "Holy shit, this woman's crazy. She's guilty," and everything. No, there's something else going on there, and it'll be interesting to finally, maybe one day, hear what that is. But that won't happen until after a trial, which has now been put off and put off and put off.
Well, it's October.
Now we're at October 7th of this year, and she's defending herself.
She's defending herself, yes. Although she did put out a request for a lawyer.
Did she? Oh my God!
You got to read it.
I got to read up on it because
Just read it on the picture I sent you. Read it. Read what she wrote. You can see a few things.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Oh yeah. So this is. Oh yeah. That's right. That's right. So we've got this. Now apparently she decided. I think I will get an attorney after all this crap. So she decided to create what I could only say is a 5th grader's great attempt at a flyer, and asked the judge to post this in his chambers and in the break rooms of the league of the courthouse, and asking for an inmate or an attorney.
Yes.
So that's what it looks like, folks. Let me give you a quick read through of this.
I mean, I think it's pretty good for being in jail, right?
Inmate seeks attorney. Now, first of all, you're kind of starting from a crazy place there. Inmate seeks looking for a prosperous challenge, ready for your close-up on television. Are you zealous with a side of keen? Holy shit. Show the world who you are. Wow. Original creativity, extraordinary expertise, confident ingenuity. Oh, now we're getting to the qualifications.
Oh, yes. She has
Qualifications must include being trustworthy, honest, driven, open-minded, exceptional problem-solving skills. It just goes on. It's just really just word vomit of all traits that people capable of excellence in representation, committed. Well, one person in this group should be committed. Maintaining faith in the client and care with the ability to think differently, overcome all circumstances. Wow. Epic opportunity awaits.
Epic.
Represent a nut job. Sarah Boone with her inmate number. She put her inmate number on here. Sarah Boone, number 20005623. Orange County Corrections Department. Invest in the oppressed. This is freaking brilliant.
Oh my God. Is that crazy?
I got it. I'm going to get a better copy. I'm gonna have this made up at Walgreens into a poster, and this is gonna go in one of my podcast studios. This is so freaking brilliant. Inmate seeks an attorney. Epic opportunity. Oh my God. So she's representing herself, but now she's seeking a lawyer. Is she going to screw up the October 7th thing? Because if a lawyer says yes, he's not going to go on October 7th.
Well, all right. She's not going to get a lawyer, right?
Well, I don't know. That's pretty compelling. I almost want to call her.
2, she said in her letter to the judge, now that I'm forced to represent myself. Well, she forced it upon herself. So she's not going to get a lawyer. The judge has already said, we are going in October. It is a go. You have delayed this enough. We're moving forward.
Now, don't you think at some point the judge is going to say, listen, you don't get to say no. You're getting a mandatory evaluation, psych evaluation right now. I mean, has she had a court-appointed psych evaluation that you're aware of yet?
I don't know.
Because this is like manic behavior, what she's doing.
I know.
This is
it's highly entertaining though.
It really is. It really is.
I mean, look, I feel sorry for George. I'm sorry, George, that you had died at the hands of this crazy person.
You know what, George? I'm sorry, but holy shit, dude, you got in the suitcase. Come on.
Well,
don't get in a suitcase with a crazy person.
I'm kind of thinking that there was some kind of force. I mean, maybe she talked him into seeing if he could fit, but there's also a blunt force trauma to the back of his head. So I'm thinking that she may have knocked him out. And
plus, he was drinking with her. He might have been partially inebriated too.
Yes. And then zippered him in there. And then when he started to wake up, she started to taunt him. Right. And he realized he can't get out. He's probably a little confused. But I think it had to have been, I mean, that's just my thought. But I think there had to have been some kind of something like that.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense. And, I think the only thing missing from this case is like the old Samsonite commercial, to have a gorilla come in and throw the suitcase around the room a little bit, you know?
She did toss it. She did roll it down the stairs.
No.
They believe it started up in the bedroom. Yeah.
My God. It's just
Because in the video, you see it one way and then you see it another. Like they have pictures of it one way and then they have pictures of it upside down.
folks, I'm sorry. I should not laugh. Somebody lost their life because of this whack job. And obviously, you know, he had some role in being there or whatever. It doesn't matter. She killed him. And I probably should not be chuckling. But after some of the horrific things that we've seen and heard when we're doing these shows, this is just, it's too ripe for comedy. It's just too, it's almost like, you know, I'm sorry somebody died, but thank goodness there was a creative death this time. Something was creative in this thing. And now she's just amazing. She's the movie of the week next week for sure. We'll have to figure out what the hell's going on with her.
And what state is that in?
That is, I did not write down the state. That's in Florida, though.
It's in Florida.
It's in Florida. If you're a serial killer or a complete whack job, you live in Florida. I do believe Lori and Chad Daybell were going to settle down in Naples right down here. I don't know for sure, but I got a pretty good hunch. Okay. Another court case. June 2nd, 2025, basically a year from now, we'll see Brian Kroberger in court for the College Town murders.
Yeah, they just filed for a change in venue.
Yeah.
Which I'm not surprised.
Well, it is, everyone in that district is involved in the two colleges that were involved in this incident. The college he went to and the college they went to. And it pretty much, it really is kind of like a it's like a biodome. Everything's kind of secluded there. Everybody knows everything about the schools and this and that. I really don't mind them getting a change in venue because of that. That does make sense to me, and I don't have a problem with that.
I did expect it a lot earlier, though. I think he just filed it like today or yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he's filing it, and there's still the court date as of today. It's for June 2nd of next year. So.
Well, they have time. They have time to.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you know, I don't know how much. At first, he wasn't really the guy coming out saying, I didn't do it. But now he's building momentum with the I didn't do it. So I don't know what kind of case they're going to present. They're keeping it really close. There's not a lot of information out there about what they're doing with this thing.
No.
You know, at this point, the investigation is over. Just to recap, 4 college students from Idaho. Was it the Idaho or Iowa?
Yeah, Idaho.
A college in Idaho, 4 students who lived together. There were other people that lived in the house, but they were on the 4th floor, or 3 of them lived together. One was a guest. But anyway, this guy goes in one night, middle of the night, and he stabs them all to death.
Not all. There's one surviving roommate.
No, he stabbed all 4. The one downstairs he didn't kill. So the 5th one. Yeah.
Oh, the 5th one, yeah.
Yeah, the ones on the 2nd floor, he killed them all. And then when he was on the 1st floor, there was 1 or 2 other people. I think there's one sleeping and one awake, or maybe just one. Doesn't matter.
Actually, I think there is 2. I think. Yeah.
And it was even a possibility that he saw this person on the exit when he was exiting, but he didn't bother he didn't make any move towards them or do anything. Just like he went up there to kill 4 people and he walked out relatively calmly, apparently, and then just drove off. But now there's a lot of evidence about him being there. There's a lot of it's got to do with the cars and cell phone signals and this and that and all the other shit that they do. You know, street cameras, parking lot cameras, but
DNA on the case for the gun.
Yeah, DNA.
I mean, knife, not gun.
Yeah, no real complete smoking gun, if you will. No complete smoking. No real complete. Oh my God, this is the real thing. But it's a pretty solid case. And at first, when he was arrested, it looked like he was just going to be all cool in the gang with, I killed these people. But then it really started to morph more into, it got more and more quiet, less and less news. And now all of a sudden he's got a team of lawyers and they're saying he didn't do it. So this is going to be This is going to be one of those real knuckle dragger cases that are it's going to take a long time to get through.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
so I would expect this one to be, this could be a good, 12 to 18 weeks of trial, with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's coming up in next June. So we've got all these. Now, the other one I want to talk about, we're blowing through our time here. Alec Baldwin his case was dismissed.
Yes.
Alec Baldwin on the set of a movie called Rust, which was an old Western. It was in between scenes. There was cast members and people working there that were just kind of doing their thing, milling around, doing whatever. And Alec Baldwin had a gun that he thought was a prop gun, and it was a prop gun, but he figured, and he apparently somehow pointed it at this person, a member of the crew, and shot and killed this person. Now, the expectation is if there's a gun on the set of a Western, it does not have real bullets in it.
Right.
And it's not the actor's job to look and see if they're real bullets or not. There are several levels of protection that these things go through. One of those things should be no live ammo on the set, but there was.
Well, yeah. Some of these things should be that, yes.
Yes. But anyway, so now the prop master, the one responsible for the firearms, was convicted of negligent homicide, I believe is what it was.
Was it negligent homicide or manslaughter?
It was, yeah, I just had it right here. Anyway, yeah, it wasn't purposeful. It was like an accidental manslaughter. I forgot what the hell they call it.
What's her name? Hannah Gutierrez.
Let's see. Anyway, they did not see. Oh, involuntary manslaughter. That's what it was. All right.
Yeah, I just found it.
Yeah, involuntary manslaughter. Thank you for holding on there, people. We appreciate it. Those little breaks in the show really show you how prepared we are. But so the prop master got 18 months. And then they wanted to charge Alec Baldwin because he was the one handling the gun, pointed it at her, and shot her. Now, he says he never touched the trigger. Listen, come on. Quite honestly, we know if there's a toy gun, you play with a toy gun. It's just, I'm not saying you should never play with guns ever. And you learn you should not point them at people, even if they have blanks in them, because they're still not fully safe. Mm-hmm. But I can see where he's messing around or just practicing pulling the gun out or doing something, and he shot this person. So because he did that, they want to charge him with involuntary manslaughter as well. Mm-hmm. 3 days in court. This sucker was fast.
Yeah.
This sucker was fast. The ink was not even dry on the arrest warrant, and they're in court, and it's like bada boom, bada bing. By day number 3,
half the day of number 3.
Half the day of number 3, the morning of number 3. Yeah. It came to light that there were live round ammunitions turned over to the FBI and then the prosecutor from the set that was turned over by an anonymous person, which they named the anonymous person, but it was turned over to them, and they decided not to tell anybody about it. They decided it's just going to confuse things more if there's more ammunition on the set, so they tried to forget it. And then somebody said something, made somebody say, "What are you talking about?" All of a sudden they're talking. Next thing you know, now Friday, the third day of the trial, the defense is standing there saying they have had evidence for weeks, live ammunition from the site that we didn't get to examine. We don't know what happened to it. The evidence obviously wasn't handled properly.
It was put in a different case file. They gave it a whole different case file. So they called it burying it. Yeah,
it was burying it. They hid it.
Mm-hmm.
They hid it. And why do you hide something? If you didn't believe it would help their case, you wouldn't hide it from them. So there was a presumption on the part of the prosecutor and the investigators that if they had this information, they might be able to have a better defense. So they hid it. The judge heard it, lost her shit. She was pissed. Mm-hmm. And there are now going to be investigations into the people who hid this evidence, and jobs will be lost and people will be in trouble. But she just immediately said, sorry, case dismissed with prejudice. And when you dismiss it with prejudice, it means it cannot be retried. He is free and clear.
He is free and clear.
So that's what happened. His whole defense was going to be, which is the only defense I could think that would work, is when you're an actor and somebody hands you a gun from the prop room, from the prop master, you have an expectation that it is not live rounds, and it's reasonable.
Especially when they tell you it's a clean gun.
Yeah, it's a clean gun.
They actually said that.
Yeah. And on most sets, I don't even imagine that we'd even have to say that, because they wouldn't have unclean guns there. There would be no reason to have guns.
Right.
But whatever. So he had a good defense anyway. Although I think sometimes Hollywood people, they want to take advantage of them or make an example out of them.
Yeah.
This might have been one of those things where, because, come on, Alec Baldwin has been one of the Hollywood bad boys for a long time. Yeah. He punches people, he yells at people, he's mean, he does all this shit. And so they might have wanted to make an example out of him. What do you think?
Well, didn't the judge, or didn't somebody ask her if she had said something like she's going to bring him down? She called him a name. She was talking like poorly about him. Yeah,
she was treating him like you're a prima donna, you're this and you're yeah.
Yeah, but she was saying it to like other lawyers and things, like not to him.
Right.
She was saying it, yeah.
So
that's also not right.
That's not right. But I mean, here you got a case. Now, let's take this back to the Karen Reed case. Now that we've seen this, and it's shown that sometimes investigators and prosecutors will hide some shit. Now you go back to the Karen Reed and we say, well, maybe they planted the plastic there from the broken taillight, because she actually broke the taillight at home, which they have on videotape of her doing it, breaking the taillight. And then the pieces show up at the crime scene.
Yeah.
It's not so far-fetched now, because we just saw where an example of a huge case that everybody's watching just because it's Alec Baldwin, and they still had the balls to hide evidence. So
yeah,
everything is possible.
Yeah.
The only ending on that is obviously Alec Baldwin. This deal is done. Horrible tragedy for the person who got shot. Tragedy, because that person who got shot had nothing to do with anything.
No,
it was somebody. It was a cast crew member.
She was just trying to do her job.
Now the woman who was convicted, will now have an appeal coming, where she will say, well, that evidence would have also worked in my favor as well. So you may see that case turned over pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's a matter of just getting her into court and doing all that. A lot of people don't know, just because they find out that you got cheated in court or something like that, people don't automatically go walking sometimes. I mean, sometimes it takes time.
Yeah.
They've had people arrested for murder and then found the real murderer, and the other person is still 6 months in prison after that while they're trying to get him out.
Yeah, got to get it through all the red tape. Now, some of the lawyers were saying, well, some of the people I watch were saying that it sounded like those bullets that were not turned in was a better case for Hannah's case than it was for Alec.
Okay.
So, but because it was buried for his case, he got dismissed, because you can't do that. And she was a special prosecutor that they brought in.
Yeah. Now, I don't know who had, because I know the FBI was partially involved.
Well, because the person that had them and turned them over was trying to turn them over to the prosecutors. He even went to the courthouse from a different state. And yes, they said they were too busy to see him. So he went to the police station to turn them in. And then the police station, I believe, called the FBI and said, we have these here. What are we supposed to do with them?
Here it says the Colt 45 rounds, the rounds from the Colt 45, were delivered to the sheriff's office in March by Troy Teskey, a former police officer and friend of the stepfather of the armorer from the movie Rust. So he was related to somebody, or a friend of somebody related to the movie set. So he took them to the sheriff's office in March. And that was exactly the same day that Hannah Reed was convicted of manslaughter. Manslaughter. So the Baldwin's attorneys, when they found all this out, they just told the judge dismiss the case because a large part of that revelation, they argued that it should have been told about the Colt 45 rounds ahead of time and given the ability to determine for themselves whether it had any bearing on the case. The prosecution and the sheriff's office and all these people, their only answer was it really didn't have anything to do with the case. It was live ammunition at the scene of a crime. How does that have something to do with the case?
But it wasn't the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office notified the prosecutor that they had these. And the special prosecutor sent another prosecutor over there or she told somebody, I don't know who it was. Maybe it was one of the officers. But she told them to put it in, check them in, give it a case file number. And it was never attached to the same case.
Which is okay. So the malfeasance is definitely from the prosecutor.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, it's probably if I dig into it, if the sheriff's office were aware that these things came in, they could have mentioned it to somebody. And then somebody one day said, well, where is all this shit? And prosecutors were the ones. So I don't know how it came to light that they had buried the evidence.
Yeah, I don't know how that came to light either.
Yeah, so it could be something like that. But anyway, yeah, I hope some heads roll. I mean, that's not cool. So we got a little bit of time left. I mean, this is all this time just to kind of catch up on everybody. We'll be trying to look into some new stuff for you. Therese and I are going to be back in 2 weeks, and then we're going to take about 4 weeks off, 4 or 5 weeks. We'll be back sometime in September, but we're going to take a little time off to wrap up the summer. You got a lot going on with the kiddies and everything else and all your stuff you're doing. And truth is, I got a lot that I'm getting involved in for National Recovery Month in September. And I've got, I'm getting booked for trainings and I'm going to do some traveling and I've got some events that I'm speaking at and doing things. So we're going to take a little time off, but we're not forgetting you. The Exes will be back.
We'll be back, especially for October.
Oh, yeah. And we'll find new cases and we'll find new things to talk about for relationships. And maybe we'll pull a couple of our friends on with us and have some fun. We can certainly do that. So I just want to, just so we can have a little humor going into the end. Not that the suitcase stuff didn't give us enough instruction. But there are actually laws on the books in some of the states in this great union of ours. Some of these laws on the books are just still on the books. It's still illegal to do certain things, but they're called blue laws. They're called blue laws because they were created. They are still actually actionable laws, but nobody's ever been arrested for them in a long time. Right. For example, in Alabama, it is illegal to wear a fake mustache to church.
Really?
Illegal.
Why would you?
Because it may cause people to laugh.
Oh, God forbid.
Yes.
But why would you wear a fake mustache?
I don't know, and it doesn't have the year this was made or why, other than they didn't want people making fun at church, and somebody said, let's make sure nobody wears a fake mustache.
All right.
Okay. In Alaska, in case you're going to go to Alaska, here's a law that you might want to pay attention to. You cannot push a live moose out of an airplane. It is a law.
Has this happened?
I got to assume that one day somebody took Bullwinkle up in a plane over Alaska and pushed him out without a parachute. I mean,
I just don't understand.
I don't know. I don't know. I do know that Moose Tracks ice cream is very, very good, and maybe they were trying to do something by pushing a moose out of a plane into the snow and somehow creating something. In Arizona, it is illegal for a donkey to sleep in a bathtub. So if you've got a pet donkey, you cannot let them sleep in your bathtub. It's illegal.
Okay.
I have no idea. I mean, this is it is illegal. This is the truth. It is illegal to mispronounce the name of the state, Arkansas. So if somebody comes down there and says, it's nice to be in Arkansas, you get arrested.
Oh, good Lord.
I mean, that must suck for anybody first seeing the word Arkansas ever.
Right.
How do we get Arkansas? A-R-K, ARK. A-N, Ann, Arkan. The last two letters, S-A-S, SAS, Arkansas. That's what it says. Now, if I said it that way, I could go to jail. Oh, I know. Women are not allowed to drive a car while wearing a house coat in California.
Yeah. Now,
a house coat is what a bathrobe, right? Is that what they?
It's like a moo thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think people can wear them anymore. But back when we were kids, all our moms wore them.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
all the time.
That was their whole day outfit and slippers. And then they come out on the front lawn and talk to you and say, "No, Mom, go back inside."
Right.
In Colorado, it is illegal to keep a couch on your porch.
Oh. Well, that's a bummer. Now listen, I have seen a lot of couches on porches. I mean, I've lived in mostly cities most of my life, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've got them here. I mean, we've got little porches, sun porches, and they've got, some people actually have a real sofa out there. No,
yeah.
It looks nice. It's not like it's ratty. We're not looking at like Sanford and Son furniture all over the front yard.
Well, some places there are.
Yeah, that's true. Some places there are. In Connecticut, pickles must bounce to be considered safe for human consumption. So it is illegal to sell pickles that do not bounce.
All right, but how do you find out if they bounce?
Apparently, now all you lovers out there, somebody there at the factory is taking pickles and bouncing them before they put them in the jar.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
What does that mean if a pickle bounces? See, I don't eat pickles, so I don't know.
Well, it means they're firm and they're not, rotten inside.
All right.
I got a jar of pickles. I'm going to be bouncing one, and I'm going to go out on my porch, sit on my sofa, and bounce a pickle. I'm also going to watch out for mooses falling from planes too while I'm out there. In Delaware, now this one I love. You have to pull your pants up in Delaware. It is now a crime to have your pants hanging down below your underwear. Your underwear.
Well, that's a good one. I like that one.
That one I like. Because it's not as popular as it was, but people are still doing it.
Yeah, I feel like it's better than it was, right?
Oh, it's much better. It's much better. And you know who started all this shit? Marky Mark.
Oh, yeah. Well, he had to show off his Calvin Kleins.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he was getting rich off those Calvin Kleins.
Right.
Then he became a great actor and a responsible human being. And guess what? He wears his pants on his hips. God. Carrying an ice cream cone in your back pocket is illegal in Georgia.
How could you even do that? You want that to melt all over your backside.
In what circumstance would somebody use the ink to write that down? I mean, what did you see one person ever put an ice cream cone in their back pocket ever?
No.
I mean, talk about moose tracks. Holy cow.
So how about New York? You got any for New York?
Let's see. I got Hawaii, I got Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland. Wow, Mississippi got a lot. New York.
New York.
All right. Well, first of all, in New Hampshire, just before I get there, it's illegal to pick up seaweed on the beach.
Why?
Apparently, if you see it, you know, if you see it there, let it lay there. I don't know. It's the seaweed law.
All right.
Yeah, probably too many kids were trying to roll it and smoke it or something. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. Okay. In New York, it is illegal to throw a ball at someone's head for fun.
Oh, damn! I broke that.
You could have had your brothers put away for life.
Oh my God! Yeah, right. I didn't know that. Jeez.
It is illegal to throw a ball at someone's head for fun. Now, if you do it out of anger, is it still illegal? Because it says you can't do it for fun.
I would assume it would be illegal out of anger also.
Oh, man. Let's see. It's illegal to fish for whales on Sunday in Ohio.
Wait, where are whales in Ohio? All right, because as far as I know, I'm not good with geography. But as far as I know, there's no oceans in Ohio.
There is the Great Lakes.
But there's no oceans. Don't whales live in oceans?
I think so. I mean, I don't think if there's a whale that lives in the Great Lakes, let us know. But I really think I'm with you. But, just to be safe, if you were thinking about fishing for whales in Ohio on a Sunday, don't do it. On a Sunday. It's okay on a Saturday. I mean, holy cow. Oh, in Pennsylvania, this is a brilliant one. It is illegal to catch fish with your mouth.
Okay.
Hands, TNT, fishing poles, small firearms. Yeah, just don't do it with your mouth. Bobbing for bass or something. I don't know what the hell that would be. It's illegal. We'll end with this one.
Okay.
In the state of Washington, not Washington, D.C., Washington State, out there.
Gotcha.
It is illegal to harass Bigfoot.
Bigfoot?
You cannot harass Bigfoot.
Oh, do they see Bigfoot? Is he part of the community there in Seattle?
I don't know. It's in 1969, an ordinance was put in place that is illegal to hunt, harass, or harm Bigfoot or Sasquatch. So they figure it's illegal to hunt him, which doesn't exist, by the way. And it's illegal to make fun of him.
Oh, all right.
Because he does kind of walk kind of funny. And if you were to say, hey, you walk kind of funny, you can go to jail.
All righty then.
Do not harass Bigfoot. Wow. It's illegal to serve butter substitutes without letting the customers know.
Where?
In Wisconsin. They're serious about their cheese and their butter.
Oh, they're serious about, their dairy, right?
Yes, absolutely. So listen, Therese and I are going to put our heads together in the next couple days. We'll come up with something, but we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, and then we're going to take some time off. But if you got an idea, something you'd like us to talk about, please leave it in the comments. If you're not watching this show live, and I know a lot of times people don't catch it when it's live and they catch it later, put your comments in. We still want to read them. We want to hear them. We want to know what you guys think. Like the channel, share with your friends, and just give us a shout out because we like doing this for you guys. We like doing this for ourselves. And for Therese and I, this is really the most exciting thing we got going in our lives right now. So
this is true. Sad but true, yeah.
This is sad. But she's got her, we get together, we drink our coffee. Too late at night to be drinking coffee, I know, but you know what? Drugs bad, coffee good. So
yeah, that's right. It's Wednesday. We can deal with it.
And once again, I'm just going to put it out there for everybody. My message for this week is there's a lot of chaos going on with the politics and Biden dropping out, Kamala coming in, and Kamala has been in there for a hot minute. All of a sudden, they've started calling names and doing a lot of things. Just stop. Just stop. Find out what politics you want to follow and the person you want to lead you and vote for that person. But you don't have to tear the other person down. I'm not going to tear down Donald. I'm not going to tear down Kamala. I'm not going to tear down anybody. I think they're all idiots. We'll just go with that. I think they're all a little bit crazy. But let's just stop. Politics used to be, let's talk about the issues. Now it's about talking about the person. Let's bring it back to the issues. Let's talk about the things that we need to do in our country to be better for ourselves and for our families and friends. And Karen, Miss Karen from Crazy About Costumes with us. Thanks for jumping in the last minute. Love you, Karen. Good to see you. Therese, any final thoughts?
I have a tip.
You have a tip.
I do. It is not the most prosperous way to find a lawyer. Hanging up a flyer in the judge's break room.
Yes, but epic opportunities await.
Try the white pages. Google lawyer online.
Oh my God, that is so great. Yes, brilliant. And thank God they gave her crayons and a piece of paper in her jail cell.
My goodness. I think she did pretty good with it. Just a couple pens, right?
You know what? It really wasn't bad.
She got different fonts. She's got some doodles on there. Yeah.
Oh, she put some effort into it.
Oh, yeah. She must have worked on that for a good week.
Yeah. I mean, that one, that's a keeper. That's one of those things I'd put in a suitcase and save, along with your dead boyfriend.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Therese, as always, take care. And everybody out there, you guys take care of yourselves. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.